Hi everyone, TARDIS 123 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Space Museum. So this is a First Doctor story featuring First Doctor, Barbara, Ian and Vicky, and it's quite a unique story from the First Doctor's run, or at least the first episode is, because it very much plays with the idea of time and whatnot, and it's one of the few times that you really grasp onto the idea of having time in this and whatnot, if that makes sense. There's no real way to explain it, but I'll get into it a bit later. So this story often gets viewed quite badly. People kind of like say, well, the first episode's amazing and the others are completely rubbish. And I must admit that the first episode is the best, and the other three aren't as good. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're rubbish, but they are a bit dull in places. So yeah, obviously the first episode, you've got the whole idea of the TARDIS jumping a time track and whatnot, and it's one of the few times that the TARDIS is used beyond the reason for them to arrive on this planet. It's kind of like, in a way, used for the plot a bit more. The whole idea of time travel and whatnot, and that's what I was going on about earlier, with time very much being used in this rather than just as a way for them to get there. So there's that element to it, which I quite enjoy. And you got the whole walking about, and you got quite a lot of mystery. And I think the explanation is quite good. While it does make sense, well, some people won't think it makes sense. I think, it works, because you understand it, and the explanation of the light switch in it taking a while to turn on is quite good, and also provides an interesting setup for the rest of the story, with the idea that they've got to prevent their own future. So there's that as well. Now, would that be possible? I think that's what adds suspense to this story, the idea that they could end up in there. And while they won't, there's kind of like a subconscious feeling that they might. So I think that works in this story. And now, the characters themselves, the Doctor, Barbara, Ian and Vicky, the Doctor gets an okay amount to do. Barbara doesn't get as much to do. She's probably the worst Doctor in this story. Ian gets a good amount to do, and Vicky gets a good amount to do, I think. Because Vicky's kind of like working with the rebels and whatnot, and Ian's being this kind of action hero, kind of like trying to rescue the Doctor and everything. So I think from that perspective it works quite well. Barbara kind of gets a loose end of the stick and is just kind of like trying to escape the museum with one of the, what should we call them? One of the slaves. I forgot. Xerons? Yeah, I think they're called Xerons. And so yeah, that's quite good, I think. Now, the rebels themselves, the Xeron rebels, are quite a boring bunch, to be honest. It's been kind of like, they talk of revolution and whatnot, but it's only when Vicky arrives and kind of like shows them how to get the weapon out and whatnot that they really start to do this stuff. And you think they're quite a pathetic rebellion, really, because they're doing all this stuff to fight back, but is it really working or anything, or are they just literally hiding? And it's quite odd from that perspective. Now, the villains themselves, they're kind of like stationed there, and they're quite bored themselves as characters. And unfortunately, it comes across as kind of like them as just being boring as well, a lot of the time. Now, I think that's unfortunate, really, because when they're boring on screen, you get bored. However, there is kind of like a brilliant scene with William Hartnell as the Doctor and the Governor Lobos, when he's kind of like when he's questioning him with the mind machine and whatnot, and the Doctor's making different images appear on the screen. And I think that's kind of like classic William Hartnell. That's a good scene for William Hartnell, and it's quite funny as well and everything. So yeah, I think that's very good too. So that's probably my favourite scene out of the whole thing, other than some in the first episode. Because obviously you got the stuff about them not touching everything in the first episode, which is, it's all very good in the first episode, I think. You know, it's a bit like it's a bit like An Unearthly Child, where you've got an amazing first episode, which is somewhat separate to the other three, and then you got the other three, which are a bit dull. So yeah, I think coming to rate this story now. Well, I did say the other three are a bit dull. I think there is some fun to be had. It is somewhat enjoyable. It's not kind of like bad at all. It's just not as exciting as it probably should be. So coming to rate, I'd probably say overall 6 out of 10, maybe 5 out of 10. I don't know. I think if I was to rate the first episode alone, it would be a 9 out of 10 or even a 10 out of 10. But as an overall story, I think I'm going to go with a 5. So, yeah, thanks for watching this review, everyone. And I'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.